Hello again everyone, I'm Paul the Nitro Scivers and welcome to this edition of the Nitro Corner. Today is Sunday and as promised this is a special part 3 edition of the Weekend Report, the draft preview. As everyone knows, the WWE draft is tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, 9 o'clock Eastern Time on the USA Network. Now let me explain the rules first of how this draft works. There will be matches to determine picks. It usually starts out with the first match of the night all the way up to the main event where picks are on the line. Basically, whichever wrestler from the brand, either Raw or SmackDown, wins the match, their brand, either Raw or SmackDown, gets the pick. And that process, excuse me, and that process continues until the end of Monday Night Raw. Usually there are like an average of about 5 picks. So what I'm going to do first as part of our draft preview, let me give you 4 keys, 4 main points I like to call the keys to winning the WWE draft. Pay attention to both promotions. Number 1, it is imperative to win the first match of the night. Why? It sets a tone and momentum for the brand for the entire draft night. If you get on the board first, you get to have the hot pick. You get to have the main pick or the mid-card pick. You are in control of the draft early on. And the other brand is going to be playing catch-up all night. So it's very important. It is imperative to win the first match of the night. Number 2, both brands make wise picks. I've seen in the past where they make picks that make absolutely no sense at all. I think we know what we're talking about here, folks. So both brands, do yourselves a favor. Make wise picks. Do not waste any picks, because if you do, why be there in the first place? The third key to winning the draft is to go for the main stars in the middle of the draft and your mid-card wrestlers first. Why? Strategy. Strategy. If you go for the main star first, then your opposition is going to know that you're going for the jugular early and you might miss. So it takes timing. It's like building a football team. Start with your mid-level card wrestlers, men such as Evan Bourne or Cody Rhodes first. Then go for your main stars like John Cena or Triple H or The Rock, etc., etc. In the middle of the draft, that's when it is most exciting, and that's when the tide turns. If your brand lost the first match, but is smart enough to pick their main star in the middle of the draft, that's a momentum changer in and of itself. And finally, the fourth and most important key to winning the draft, 3 words: have a plan. Have a plan. If you don't have a plan, why in the hell are you doing there in the first place? If you don't have a plan, stay home. And if you do have a plan, stick to it. And if it's not working out, always have a backup plan. If you don't, go home. Please have a plan. And those are your keys to winning the draft. Now, I have selected 5 wrestlers that I personally will predict that I wouldn't be too surprised that they either be... let me rephrase that, shall we? I've got 5 wrestlers here that I personally picked if I was the GM for both Raw and SmackDown. So let me put on my proverbial Raw hat. As GM of Monday Night Raw, these are my 5 picks. Number 1, all these picks are coming from the SmackDown roster. Number 1, Alberto Del Rio. Why? He's probably one of the hottest heels right now on the SmackDown roster. Note his feud with Edge before Edge retired. Number 2, Ezekiel Jackson. Why? You got a big man, 6'8", 6'6", I believe, 320 pounds. He slammed and suplexed the Big Show. There's your power. There's your strength. I think he needs a second chance on Raw. because he sure as heck ain't going anywhere on SmackDown, being the muscle of the core. Number 3, Cody Rhodes. Why? I don't think Cody Rhodes is going to go anywhere after this feud with Rey Mysterio. The freak face thing is over. I think it's time to go back to being dashing Cody Rhodes. What a perfect fit for Monday Night Raw for some over-the-top character like the dashing one, Cody Rhodes. Number 4, Drew McIntyre. I think if you're looking for that breakthrough moment, and Drew McIntyre is certainly looking for it, he can find it on Monday Night Raw. He would be a great mid-card wrestler, ready to move up into the main event. You can cultivate your star of the future right there, and it starts with Drew McIntyre. And 5th, Heath Slater of the Core. Why? He has that rock star attitude that fits perfectly with Raw. Let me take my Raw hat off now, and let me put on my SmackDown hat. As GM of SmackDown, Friday nights on the Sci-Fi Channel, here are my 5 picks for the SmackDown roster. Number 1, John Cena. Why? I think he's done all that he's could on the Raw roster, and when you got The Rock coming up next year, and John Cena wants to be the WWE Champion, wouldn't it be fantastic if John Cena be on the SmackDown brand? And I would not be too surprised if they drafted Christian after the draft into the supplemental draft and move him to Monday Night Raw. John Cena needs to come back to SmackDown. He's done all he could on Raw. It's time to go back to the blue brand, SmackDown. Number 2, Eve Torres. Eve, I think, has done all she could in the women's roster, but can you imagine her teaming up with Michelle McCool to form the new Lay Cool, so to speak? We could call it Eve Cool or Cool Eve. Never know. Or the new Beautiful People 2.0. You never know. That would be a great idea. Number 3, Mason Riley of the New Nexus. Here's a Batista lookalike, but he has his own personality. He's 6'6", 290, built for power and speed. That's what SmackDown needs. Number 4, CM Punk. I don't think he's going anywhere on Raw right now, thanks to Randy Orton. I think he's wasting his time on Raw. It's time to come back to SmackDown. And finally, number 5, Santino Marella. The comedy act, I think, has gotten dry. It's time for Santino to go back to SmackDown. And that is my 5 picks for SmackDown. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my draft preview. Hopefully both brands will listen to me, but obviously they don't. But you, the fans, should listen, because those are my 5 picks. I would not be too surprised if any or all of them are drafted to those respective brands. And that's it for the Nitro Corner for this week. First off, I want to, before we go, I want to thank everyone for looking at the 5 videos that I had, the 5 classic videos this morning. That was my 50th upload. And I thank each and every one of you fans for tuning in to all 50 uploads. This is number 51, and I hope to keep it going from here. That's it for today, and that's it for the Easter Day extravaganza, as well as this special edition of the Weekend Report. I thank you so very much. We'll be back tomorrow with the Nitro Opinion. Until then, this is Paul the Nitro Skyver saying, so long, everybody. Happy Easter, everyone.